Welcome everyone. It looks like today we are looking at EDF 2025, also known as Earth Defense Force 2025. So, if you have no idea what EDF is, well, you are in for a treat today. And of course today we are looking at it over on the Xbox 360, but this is also available on the PlayStation 3 as well. And you can pick this up as of now for $49.99 if you see fit. So, let's hop on into the game and give you guys a good idea of what you can expect from EDF 2025. So, first of all, as you can tell, we got mission mode, online mode, versus mode. That is pretty much the three game modes here. But let's go to mission mode to begin with. So,
select the number of players.
As you can tell, as for mission mode is concerned, you can play up to 2 players with green if you see fit. But let's just do 1 player for the time being, since it's only me here. So, when you start the game, as you can see, you got start mission. Well, you can select the missions that you have done as of right now. The game of course have a little over 80 missions in it, so you're gonna have your handful if you're trying to do everything. So, we go to character and class and character or whatever. And of course, we have the 4 game type here. We got ourselves the Rangers, which is,
Special Forces Infantry.
I'll let her tell you.
The core of a unit. A battle expert who can use a range of weapons to respond to any situation.
So, pretty much, the normal soldier type can carry up to 2 weapons here. And then we got the Wing Diver.
Wing Diver. Flying Assault Trooper. Member of a female-only Special Forces unit, equipped with flight wings. She is armed with experimental Ravager tech-based weaponry.
So pretty much, as far as she is concerned, she can fly around the level, carry up to 2 weapons, and most of the weapon is usually tied to a booster, since your booster are limited, and if you run out of booster, then some weapon won't even fire, or some won't even reload to it fill back up, which kind of give it a very risk and reward type gameplay with the ability to move around extremely quickly. So the next type we got is Elevator, which is
Aerial Spotter. Supports the Air Force units from the ground by spotting for airstrikes, missiles, and artillery. Also capable of calling in infantry vehicle support.
So yeah, pretty much can summon in cars, tanks, mechs, pretty much the hero type, and more backup for the most part. Don't have a lot of powerful weapons, but it's kind of handy to have on your team if you are doing co-op. And then of course the last type we got here, a Defensor, which is, feel free to explain, lady.
Heavy Armored Trooper. With the power frame, the Fencer is able to carry and use giant weapons in both hands. They can be fired simultaneously.
So pretty much that character can carry up to 4 weapons, 2 on the shoulder, 2 on the arm. Mainly extremely slow, but fairly good as far as being a tank character. And then, of course, we have our actual weapons that we can actually get. So the weapons are extremely unique for the most part. Some of them will level city blocks, some will trap enemy. Pretty much all the weapons are very creative, and in some cases can break the game, which we will get to in a little bit. But the items itself, it all randomly drop from the enemies that you defeat when you go to the level. And as you can tell in the menu, the weapons actually have levels. The levels are actually tied to what difficult setting you play it on. Since, think of it kind of in the vein of Diablo, well, the items are randomly dropped, but the levels are kind of tied to what difficult setting you playing on. So, for example, you can play it on easy and get guns from about level 0 to 5, play it on normal, like 10 to 30, and so on and so on. So, higher setting you play it on, better weapons you will get. And then we got our quarter set, which we got the default quarter to change the armor of your character. But if you see fit, you can manually go in and change it all yourself if you want. So make yourself a little more unique on the battlefield, if you so see. And then you got armor adjustment. So armor adjusting is as you also go through killing enemies, they will drop random boxes of armor, which in return give you point to put on your character, which will boost your health up dramatically. And of course, if you want some true difficult setting, you can set your health down all the way to 150 or whatever the default health is for whatever character class you're playing as, if you want some challenge. But the only real issue with this heal is, of course, whenever you get item dropped by enemy, no matter how many boxes you pick up after you beat the level, you might only get 2 or 3 points, which in return is a little irritating, because if you go after the boxes, more than likely you won't get as many points that you actually collected in the level, which is, like I said, extremely irritating. So, of course, we got our battle history, which, as you can tell as of right now, we have put in over 17 hours, and we'll probably put in any more hours before this is over with, since we only, I believe, 30 levels in, and like 40, 50 in co-op, or online co-op, which we will get to. So, yeah, as you can tell, it pretty much keeps track of pretty much every single thing you do in this game. So, the game setting here, got volume, voices, queen, you know, pretty much the normal routine of these types of game. And then we got return to title. So let's do a mission as each class, and then we will get into the actual multiplayer stuff and give you an idea of what you can be in for. So I get to start this out and give you guys an idea of how far the game actually go. Well, let's start out in the beginning, and I will show you some of the level as they get more and more crazy as we go along. So anyway, as you can see here, we got all 5 difficult settings. So let's throw this on, say, normal for the time being for that level. Whittle, since my wing diver is my main class, so she is the most level of the group. So another like little nitpick here, as you can tell, the low queens are, well, they can get a little lengthy some of the time. Any more so in single player when you actually have cutscenes, and as you will probably see here in a moment, it will load into a cutscene, play the cutscene, and we will go right back to loading.
This is a special news flash. We are broadcasting to you live from the scene. What in the world? Wait! People are being attacked by giant insects! Thought to have been exterminated 7 years ago, the insects actually survived!
Less than a minute, and then we will go right back into another low queen. So just be warned about that if you are the impatient type. The load time, like I said, a little also in single player, mainly because of the cutscene in between low queens. Not for all levels, but some of the level. The main story beat. With the story beats are nothing to write home about, since it's usually random insect appeal, kill them. Giant robot appeal, kill them. It's not really much to the overall story other than kill the bugs. So as you can see, you got your little team of squad member here with you, and they can die and leave you kind of, you know, lost in the combat alone. So just be warned about that. So as you can see, we can fly about with our little ball over there on the right, telling us how much boot we have. Like I said, when it runs out, you won't be able to do much of anything to it fully heal. And something, let me see here. There we go. Get up heal. So if you, after I totally missed, we'll try this again, shall we? Is that gonna hit? But pretty much once it actually happens, I don't think it's gonna happen, since that gun seemed to be fairly weak. But there we go. Let's just do something closer. But pretty much everything in the game is totally constructible, as you can see. The only time it really not constructible is whenever you actually get into like underground levels or in inside of like caves and stuff. So that's a little sad. But whenever you out in the city, it's pretty much fair game. If you got any type of explosive, you pretty much can lay weight to anything. So, speaking of the boxes I was talking about earlier, red boxes are armor, green boxes are weapon, and then little white and yellow boxes are re-energizer. So, okay, next quest we're going to look at here. Let's look at the Ranger and actually show you exactly how the Ranger play. As you can tell, don't exactly have that many weapon as the Ranger, since I haven't exactly played as the Ranger yet, but outside of Ranger kind of screwing around, but let's see how well the Ranger actually put up now. So, let's go do, say, an underground cave with him. And I will show you exactly how the Ranger play. Any of the Ranger pretty much play as a default character with not really any super ability, more of he can pretty much use most of the basic human weapons.
We have to wipe them out before that happens. All units, begin operation. The underground entrance.
So, as you can tell from the Ranger itself, like I said, nothing really too fancy about him, other than just using normal human weapon for the most part. Nothing exactly too fancy for him, outside of having a rocket launcher and a machine gun. So pretty much the Ranger characters are more or less the character you play at to kind of get used to EDF. And EDF can be not the most cool thing about certain mechanics. Mainly, as you've seen with the Wing Dagger, with it boosting ability actually affecting the weapon, they never really tell you that. So they kind of left to you to kind of figure it out. While the Ranger itself, it's more or less just a simple character really with no real in-depth gameplay to him. So more of the welcome clap to anybody who just kind of want to jump in and kill robots and aliens and bugs without having to worry about certain game mechanics that is quite confusing for a while anyway. And as you can see, most of the cave area also doesn't look that fancy. It's actually some of the worst looking level with the textures and stuff. But the cities is, they might be a little bland, but at least the city is quite pretty, especially as random explosion happening and leveling the whole city as you going through. It kind of add that extra oomph of epicness, I guess you could say. Maybe that's just me enjoying things blowing up, but it's quite nice though. Like these levels are a little more bland for the most part. And the one thing you will start noticing about the level is you mainly have about 5 or 6 distant levels, and most of the levels are usually just made up of starting in completely distant parts of the levels. And all the levels are fairly big, but you will start seeing a lot of the levels the same over and over again. So be warned about that. Level can get a little repetitive since we only really have city, docks, underground, wood, beach. So that's pretty much about it for the most part. But like I said, levels are big enough and they do start you in totally different areas. So at least there is that. So you seem to have that artificialness of having distant level when you actually don't. So as you can see, you also fight other bugs other than just ants, which in that case, as you can tell, is giant spiders. Which are the spiders, as you can see, you can shoot webs and try to actually catch you up, and actually add a distant flavor to combat a little bit, especially on more of the higher setting, since you having to worry about being caught into spider webs, being ate by ants. So, like I said, starting out on easy, it's fairly just one and gun, but as you go through on the higher setting, a little more challenge than just run around and shoot things. You're gonna have to put a little bit more thought into the way you take on certain situations, what gun you will use for certain situations. So as you can see, when you actually beat a level, we actually get a list of everything we got. So we ended up as the soldier, we ended up picking up 3 new weapons and a whole bunch of new armor. So as you can tell with all the armor here, that's how many you picked up. But like I said, if we go to class and then we go to armor adjustment, we cannot upgrade our character at all, any if we did just pick up all that armor. Like I said, that is the irritating part right there. That is super frustrating, and kinda wish they would've balanced that a little better, cause what is the point of collecting the armor if you may or may not actually get any to use? So, either way on that end, that is the frustrating part. So, let's try out the elevator for you guys, so you guys get an idea. So, as you can tell, he can end up carrying 3 different weapons. So, vehicle have C4, Pulsar, L-Tup. We got his missile launcher, and then of course we got his character specific boot, like life, charges, batteries. Anything here will pretty much set down little I get poles into the ground, and as long as your teammates are in a certain area, they will in return get healed. So we have that if you want to be more the support class, which technically that's what this is. So let's go with, let's bring out all grenades here so we can call back up.
Air Raiders can equip 2 weapons and 1 vehicle.
Let's see here. Let's go with that gun, and then as far as vehicles are concerned, vehicle got tank, ground vehicle, helicopter, power suits. So let's go with, let's say the power suit. This is Japanese, so let's actually go a little bit Gundam on the aliens. So let's start mission here.
Deploying. Select a mission.
And for our mission here, let's see here. Let's go with it once. This is when they actually start introducing ants who have nests that will constantly keep respawning ant to you destroy them. So, as far as like all the classes are concerned, the elevator is the most difficult, mainly because of, once again, lack of information that they give you, as you will see here in a moment when we actually get into vehicles, of not actually telling you how to get in vehicles. Matter of fact, on the 360, to get into the vehicle is the back button, which is what game that you put the back button to get into a vehicle, especially when you don't even really use Y at all to get in, which is mainly, you know, you for getting in and out of vehicles.
Those holes stay open. They will come and go as they please. We have to destroy the tunnel exits.
So let's throw that grenade while we're waiting for our giant mech to show up.
It looks like there are underground tunnels for the giant insects. Ready to fire. We found an exit to the ground. Hurry.
So as we are waiting here, whoop, our mech is here. So let's go ahead, hit back, get into our mech. All the weapons are usually infinite, but for vehicles, not so much. The vehicles are limited, and once you run out, you usually kind of gotta get out because they're pretty much totally useless at that point. But on the other hand, since all the weapons, especially for that character, is usually on timer, by the time you actually run out of ammo, if you play your call right, you usually got the ability to summon another vehicle. So, but the one thing you would know is leap out the mech anyway. The mech is a little sluggish as far as turning around, but most of the vehicles don't control all that well. Because another thing you would notice is don't really have a reticle at all for this, so the missiles will kind of not shoot in the arc that you kind of expecting it to shoot. So something else to kind of take in equation with that character is the most deepest as far the support classes you can actually do for people. and the vehicles not being exactly user friendly, especially the helicopter, which is actually quite difficult to control and don't really make a lot of sense on how you actually gain and take altitude and how you actually train weapons, and it's complicated. So a little bit of a learning curve, but at the same time, once you start actually getting more and more vehicles, this class can easily become the more satisfying class. And also knowing it's thanks to you that your teammate live or die, and help out with some of the lesser downside to certain classes such as the L-Weight or flying ability with a booster, since you can lay down items to actually recharge character boosts and armor and so on, so they can quickly kind of get back up to using their special abilities. So there is always that when you play as it class. Just know playing as single player can get a little frustrating, especially in some of the earlier level before you actually start getting more and more powerful weapons unlocked. Okay, now let's try out the Fencer, let you guys see how the Fencer actually play. Once again, as you can tell, haven't really played the Fencer all that much, don't have any real weapons unlocked for him. But the one thing you will notice, his life is the biggest of them all, so he started out with the best armor. But he does have some downsides, as you will see here in a moment. So let me see here. Let's show off a level that not just inside the city, since I've been showing you all some of the city levels. So let's do a beach level. Give you an idea what the beach looks like.
Select a difficulty.
So as you can tell about the beach, it is fairly open for the most part. But starting out like default weapon with him is a little sluggish and take a few seconds to actually get going. And as you can tell, take any longer to reload for the most bit. But he does have a little jump, which is mainly up. But you do get other weapons later on that will actually help out with his movement speed and his boosting speed and so on. This class mainly his character seem to weapon actually affect the way he actually can get around the environment, and seem to be the most tied to his class. Mainly his class is slow and more of a tank character, so you start getting better and better weapon, which in return will help out with movement speed and getting around the level overall. Which in return, this is where the L-Weight will come in handy, since the L-Weight can actually bring in vehicles that your character can hop into in co-op to help you get around a little faster, since as you can tell, he is not the fastest character, especially not out of the gate. But as you can tell, as far as the game is running, for the most part when you have hundreds enemies on screen, it's usually run fairly flawlessly, but you will have a lot of frame rate issue, especially later on when you start getting more and more explosion, and even more so when you're inside the city with hundreds of buildings blowing up at a time, when certain enemies are around or certain weapons are available, which in return can break the game and make the frame rate drop down to below 10 at most cases. But at the same time, not irritating really at all. It kind of built to the epic and cheesiness of it, just like a movie slowing down for an epic explosion or gunshot. It is because the game is not optimized well for it, but at the same time, it's just an extra topping on top of the cheesiness. So, if frame rate dropping is an issue for you, be warned. Why are our teammates singing? Yeah, on the front of them, I guess, as you can tell, your teammate at randomly will be talking about random thing. Might be them breaking out into a song just like just now. or they will be talking about dental and white problems, so don't pay anything serious from your teammate. And your overall radio communication back to headquarters are not much better, mainly with them hardening inset every couple of minutes. So yeah, that is pretty much the Fencer class in a nutshell. It seemed to be the more methodical class to play at. Personally, for me, I like the Wing Diver just because of the ability to get around extremely quickly. And if any of you actually know me, you know I really like being able to get around a level extremely quickly. It made me feel a little bit more in power. Oh, and as you can tell, when an enemy bites you, there's not really much you can do. Either your teammate gotta save you, or you might get lucky and actually get a shot in. And the wet ants are kind of a pain in that cake, because it looks like it's gonna eat us alive. Oh, nope, one of our teammate helped us. So yep, that's the Fencer in a nutshell. So let's go, and I will show you guys the actual multiplayer, so you can get an idea of how that worked out. The multiplayer is, well, I guess we can say very, very Japanese, which you will see in a moment. So, let's get back into it. Okay. So, online multiplayer here. And of course, when you do online multiplayer, you can do deal 2 team member being couch, if you see fit. So, as you can see, right out of the gate is quite confusing. Since the menus are not laid out the best. So, menu on the left here is of course wound lifting. So you can of course see what they playing on, armor limit, weapon limit, how many people are in the team. As you can tell, it's still fairly a decent amount of people playing EDF. So you get a lot of information here, but at the same time, it is quite confusing for the most part, at least at first when you try to figure this out. So, we got all character equipment, nothing really changed here. You can search for a wound, so you can sort by name or set, so you can find your friend wound fairly easy, or if there's a certain group of people you play with and don't have you on your friend list, I get you can easily find. We got refresh, and we got the game setting, which is still the same old thing from the single player. And then we got about like party equipment, game setting. Yeah, still got all information. Look like your time for gameplay it tied between single and online, so don't bet separate time for each. So when you go to create a game, your court can name your wound whatever you see fit for the most part. You can set how many player, if chat enabled. You can set your mission, what setting you want to play on. Let's go Inferno. Oh no. Okay, I thought if you go to Inferno you'd be able to change weapon limit and armor setting, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, Court Seal, you can then return, set how many people you want to wait for and whatnot. You can give a rough estimate on how long you're going to be playing, since the game kind of just goes. So if you want to do that. The one thing that is a little irritating that you will find out if you are hosting games is once you beat a level, it don't exactly go to the next level, so you have to go in every single time and manually change what level you are doing. So be warned about that, because if you beat a level and then everybody just hit ready, you're going to end up playing that same level over again. So that is a little frustrating. But let's go here and let's see what we can find. Let's see if we can find someone that in kind of a little more later game. Let's see if we can actually get into that room. Good, we can. So let's change our class real quick. We want to change that back to Wing Diver.
Wing Diver.
And select mission. As you can tell, it seems. Okay, so 28 with the lap mission did online. As you can tell, they on mission 78. So as you can tell about now, you got medal down below, which give you an idea of what level you beat what on. So it will keep track of if you beat the level with said class. So give you an idea if you're trying to 100% this of what levels you actually missing. So we're gonna hit OK here, and kind of look like we are gonna be waiting here. Since you can join a level while people are actually playing. So, and another little thing here that might irritate you, as far if you want to go through the menu over on the left side here, you pretty much start using the joystick. But if you kind of like me and have a habit of wanting to go through menu with D-pad, you in for a treat here, cause since this is a heavy Japanese game, well, this seems to be a very common thing in Japanese multiplayer game, and when you hit the D-pad, you get all these, which is like greetings, like hi, hello, welcome to the team, and so on. And when you say any of this, to all members, as you can tell, just go to the little chat box there so people can actually see what is being said. And also, we have, which I don't think is available in this, no they're not, we actually do have different types of stuff where you can like dance, wave, do setups, the normal routine here. But okay, so whenever you get into certain rooms here, the difficult setting, the difficult settings are actually tied to weapons. So you can only have weapons of certain levels that you can actually play in a level. So say like this level here, as you can tell, the level cap is 19. So you can pick level 1 through 19 to actually use. But this is only for multiplayer. Single player, you can use whatever level weapon you want, no matter what. But in this, if you're playing it on easy, you start to a level cap, and so on for each setting up. So, I bet some of that, and maybe you might have a weapon you might truly love that is really, really powerful on a high level, and then you go do a multiplayer game on easy, and you might not actually be able to use said weapon. So once again, adding to the play value of if you're gonna do multiplayer, you might want to actually try out different weapons and find ones you like, because each weapon is decent enough and actually you're more than likely gonna be actually using if you plan on doing a lot of multiplayer gaming here.
Begin.
So, like I was saying before, as you can tell, you can break out a move if you see fit. So if you want to do some random dancing and stuff and get shot by your teammates, you can. So, yeah, that another thing we probably should bring up is friendly fire is pretty much always on. So be warned about that. You will be killing your teammates, especially if you know there's a lot of enemies and your teammate is kind of up in the front line. So that's something to be warned about. And I get ate by another bug, and I'm trying to shoot myself loop, but not having much luck on it. Yeah, not much luck at all, and then I go flying across the map.
X4 has destroyed 2 quadruped fortresses.
Good.
So as you can see, some interesting fun that can be having from that, and now here we are fighting dragons, it look like. So as you can see, you're not just gonna be fighting bugs and giant robot and flying robot, you also will fight dragons of all things. So, as you can tell, the combat can kind of get all over the place as far as what you are fighting. Let's see, can I actually hit this thing? Yep, we can. And we got a dragon right in front of us, of course. But yeah, overall, EDF, for the $50 price tag, it could get a little repetitive in it, just killing things. But they do a fairly good job of keeping it interesting by throwing more and more different types of enemies at you. And actually giving you more complex weapons and weapons that do totally different things. Any ifs and the levels are a little repetitiveness, and the combat itself is nothing special, but it is great fun, and it is a lot of game here, as you can tell. And with the 4 different classes, with all of them, how they work with each other, and sometimes against each other, it can be extremely more fun if you got 1 or 4 buddies to play with. So yeah, overall, I can't help but recommend EDF, especially if you just want something fun and stupid, and any more so once you start getting into co-op. So yeah, that will be EDF, and like I said, if you want, you can pick this up over on the PS3 and Xbox 360 right now for $49.99.